Hi everybody and welcome to Code and Trust. So in today's video we're going to learn about Unicast routing protocol. So let me give you an example so that we could understand what is unicasting first. So for example, when I send an email to my friend, I just want to send send my email only to my friend. That is, I want the message only to be received by him. In this particular criteria, we have just one receiver. That is, I'm just sending my message and he is receiving. So such a kind of situation, we say we have used unicast connection. We send our message to only one receiver. So in network simulator, we kind of have four types of unicast routing methods possible, and those are static, session, dynamic, and then manual. So these four are the only possible routing protocols, unicast routing protocols available in network simulator. So and I'm just going to talk about only two types of unicast routing protocols, and that is static and dynamic. And let's say for example, so this is the file which you have seen in the last video, and we need to add a single line to make it static. I just have to say ns rtproto, that is routing protocol, and then here I have to use static. And when I save this and when I run the application, it's going to be very similar. When we have a network, we need a routing protocol. So far we have used static, and static is just the default routing protocol. So when I just run this file, it's going to be the same output which we have saw in the last video. That's going to be the same video. It's going to be the same simulation. So this static, it's by default network simulator uses static, and for dynamic, and I have to give some information when I speak about dynamic. So if you are learning network, if you're doing network simulation, you should have known a little bit of networks, right? So you should know about what is a routing table. Every node, every router in a network maintains a routing table, and with this routing table, it stores information like what are all the routers it is connected to. It stores all the IP address and physical addresses in the routing table. So every router has a routing table. In dynamic unicast routing, every node in a network finds out its nearby connected nodes by sending messages. Address resolution protocol, then those protocols are used to find out their addresses, to map their logical addresses to the physical address. So let's enough of talking, let's see this in action. So ns rt root protocol, and I just having to say dynamic. So instead of just going through, I just wanted to give a single point. So here you could just say make this dynamic only available on n naught, and you could say you can add any number of parameters you want. And if you don't add any number of parameters, it just means that to use all nodes in dynamic. Alright, now I'm just going to save this application and I'm going to run it. We're going to see the difference in action. Now when I run this file, we see small messages coming up, right? These messages, now yes, this is how the nodes in the network dynamically finds out its connected nodes. So after sending the messages, like the 0 node knows that it is connected to 1 and 3 is connected to 1. So this is how it does, and this dynamic is used even in our internet. So our internet uses dynamic routing. At any time a host might be down, so it can't be static. It should be dynamic, and it should adapt to changes in the network. So we just saw about dynamic. So if you kind of do research on this Unicast, you could analyze the cost path. When you have multiple paths to a destination, it chooses the path which has the least cost. So that kind of situations is also possible in Andes. Do a research on it, and this in this tutorial we're just going to learn about the simple basics. So enough of I just gave you an introduction to Unicast protocol. So if you want more, I'm just saying this NS is capable of doing it. So go research it. Go have fun with it. See you guys in the next video on multicast protocols. Bye from Coding Faster.